Superhero Santa sounds pretty cool. Ho ho ho. Wow! Hey everyone, I am Nate and welcome back to Planet One Up. In today's video, we are going to be having a look at the top 10 weirdest Santa cameos in comics. You've got to monopolize on Christmas somehow, right? In at number 10 is Iron Man number 254, released in 1990. Okay, so Santa himself doesn't technically make an appearance in this issue of Iron Man, but we had to include it based on the comic's cover alone. The cover shows what looks to be Iron Man and Santa Claus himself battling it out. While the idea of Iron Man and Santa throwing fists sounds super cool, unfortunately that isn't the case in this comic. The actual story follows Nathan Lemon's first appearance as the villain, SPYMASTER, who dresses up as Santa and has to infiltrate Tony Stark's Christmas party as part of his graduation from the Taskmaster's Academy to steal the Christmas tree's uppermost ornament. I guess you could say he is pining for that tree ornament. That was devastating. In at number 9 is Amazing Spider-Man number 314, released in 1989. This issue of The Amazing Spider-Man starts out quite glum with Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, and his partner Mary Jane being evicted from their home on Christmas Eve. While half of the story follows Peter and Mary trying to find some place to stay, a man named Clark is brewing trouble by planning to steal money from the firm he works for. When things go south, Clark ends up taking the Santa Claus hostage. Okay, it's a store Santa Claus, but it still counts. And this Santa even saves the day by sneaking up on Clark and decking him over the head with the stolen money to save Spider-Man from being shot. I guess you could say Santa decked his holes. Oh, and Peter and Mary find a place to stay in the end too. It's a Christmas miracle. In at number 8 is Justice League of America number 60, released in 2002. Probably the best thing about this issue of the Justice League of America is the title. Merry Christmas, Justice League, now die. The issue follows Plastic Man as he tries to put Woozy's nephew to bed by making up an elaborate story about Santa Claus being in the Justice League. In his version, Santa has heat vision and super strength, and even helped the Justice League defeat the villain Neuron. The kid doesn't buy it at all. That is until Santa himself appears outside the window. Spoiler alert, it's actually just Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern playing a practical joke, but hey, Superhero Santa sounds pretty cool. Wow! In at number 7 is She-Hulk number 8, released in 1989. She-Hulk is a non-traditional comic that is known to break the fourth wall, so I guess in a way it makes total sense for Santa to make an appearance. Santa doesn't appear in the traditional sense here though, instead appearing as Nick St. Christopher, the greatest detective in the world. He appears in the comic to help Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, catch a deadly criminal who she had trouble tracking down. When Jennifer questions him about his lack of police or legal training, Nick St. Christopher replies with, "I always know who's been naughty and nice." In at number 6 is Justice Society of America number 55, released in 2004. This issue of the Justice Society of America series from DC is appropriately titled, Be Good for Goodness Sake. In the comic, The Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkman, and Wildcat are flying to New Hampshire on Christmas Eve to complete a mission. On the way there, they see Santa Claus helping a family whose car had broken down. As a result, he was running late for his shift at the department store. Santa eventually arrives at the mall and clashes with a group of thugs. The JSA heroes show up moments later to help, and during the scuffle, it is revealed that Santa is actually Ma Hunkel, the original Red Tornado. The comic ends with her inviting the JSA heroes over for Christmas dinner. In at number 5 is Superman's Christmas Adventure from 1940. Of all of the things Superman could have used his flight for, you probably never thought one of them would be to fly Santa's sleigh around. Well, that's exactly what happened in the 1940 comic Superman's Christmas Adventure. After Santa's workshop is attacked and Lois is kidnapped by Dr. Grouch and Mr. Meanie, who both really hate the holiday, Superman gets involved to help. Unfortunately, the villains manage to knock out all of Santa's reindeer during the scuffle, so in the end, it's up to Superman himself to fly Santa's sleigh if they hope to deliver all the presents in time. With a Disney-like, overly happy ending, this comic is sure to at least make you giggle at the ridiculousness of it during the holiday period. In at number 4 is Incredible Hulk number 378, released in 1991. If you were hoping for a real Santa Claus appearance in this comic, I'm sorry to say that is not the case. The Santa appearance in Incredible Hulk issue 378 is actually the Marvel villain Rhino dressed up as Santa. Long story short, Rhino steals a Santa suit in order to scam people for money, but is asked to be a Santa in a mall. When he is discovered by the children, Bruce Banner happens to be passing by and sneaks away to the bathroom to transform into the Hulk. Needless to say, a battle between the two ensues. The comic ends on a happy note though, when the two agree to a truce for the sake of the little girl who was upset over Santa fighting. The power of Christmas spirit. In at number 3 is Justice League of America number 110, released in 1974. Warning, this issue of the Justice League of America has a pretty intense title. The Man Who Murdered Santa Claus. Yikes. I guess Santa he'd his last hoe. In this issue, the villain Key returns and kills Santa Claus at an orphan's Christmas party, with Batman and Superman also in attendance. Thus, Key issues a challenge to the Justice League. The rest of the comic is actually pretty frustrating, with each Justice League sacrificing themselves for the next to prevail in a series of death traps set by Key. What's even worse is that Key still manages to jingle all the way to freedom. Fortunately, the heroes are ultimately all saved by the Phantom Stranger, so at least the Christmas issue doesn't end on too dark of a note. In at number 2 is Marvel Holiday Special number 2005, released in 2006. With the bizarre stories that come from comics, sometimes it should be no surprise that one of the Santa Claus appearances on this list was going to be a robot Santa. Ho ho ho. Marvel's 2005 Holiday Special features a weird story title. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santron. In this particular story, a girl named Virgie Hanlow creates a robotic Santa Claus after being devastated as a child by the revelation that apparently Santa isn't real. It turns out that this robot Santa is actually an Ultron, who instantly becomes the antagonist and vows to kill the Avengers. The Robo-Santa crashes the Avengers' Christmas party to enact his plan, but is tricked by Spider-Man into eating a cookie that's hiding a remote-controlled mistletoe that's hiding in an internal electromagnetic pulse. Yeah, it gets kind of weird, but the comic does finish off with a heartwarming speech by Captain America about believing in Santa as an ideal. Before we reveal what number 1 is, what have you thought of the list so far? Do you think these are in the right order? Do you know of weirder instances where Santa has appeared in comics? What else should we be doing these lists on? Let us know in the comment section down below, but it is now time for number 1. In at number 1 for the weirdest Santa comic book cameo is Marvel Holiday Spectacular, released in 2009. Number 1 on our list is the Marvel Holiday Spectacular, released in 2009. This comic features some of our favourite Marvel heroes like Iron Man and Doctor Strange, the X-Men, the Illuminati, and an Infinity Gauntlet wielding Santa Claus. Is this the most ambitious crossover event ever? The plot all begins when Santa asks the Illuminati to borrow the Infinity Gauntlet to deliver presents when he finds out that all of his reindeers were, wait for it, Skrulls. While the story may seem a little ridiculous, it does end on a happy note with Tony Stark lending Santa some robotic reindeer to help him deliver the presents. He really reined in the drama there. That is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like, as well as subscribe, and hit the bell icon just down here so you're notified when we upload more videos just like this one. I'm Nate, this is Planet One Up, and we'll see you all next time. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, you might want to check out these, as well as head on over to the channel to subscribe and follow us on Instagram. Just go now. Go do it. Net, please. I'd really like it too.